Hi guys, happy Monday. Yeah, I'm blurry, I don't know why. Let's try to fix this. Alright, there we go. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, on to Pathworking in Modern Magic by Donald Michael Craig. I feel really short now too. I don't like this. What is going on? Why am I so short? There we go. Alright, so, you guys are all familiar with Pathworking, I'm sure. So, here we go. Alright, here's an example of Pathworking. And it's pretty cool. Do you guys, I have a little story first before I start this. It's pretty funny. Well, I thought it was at the time. It was probably really, really bad to jolt somebody back into their body so quickly. Quite a long time ago. Yeah, like 19 years ago, when we first moved in here. My friend came, I had the book, the Encyclopedia of the Fairies, and it gave you a guided meditation, which was it's kind of like Pathworking, but not. So it was a guided meditation. So halfway through, my friend, she actually got to the point of astral projection, and then I kind of just really just spoke. I totally twisted the entire guided meditation around and told her that something like monstrous was after her, and so she jolted and she freaked out. I just, think it's funny now, because it is, and she deserved it. Yeah, she did. So, I just thought that was pretty funny, but don't do that because it's not nice, and you want to be a nice person, and you don't want to be like that. So, anyways, I thought it is funny. So, alright, so here's an example of Pathworking, and this is lesson 11. Let's see. Part 3. Alright, so, okay, it is a bright night. Alright, the moon is full and the air is clear and cold. I wish. It's burning up. Anyways, let me rephrase this. Let me restart. I don't want to screw anybody up, just in case you go along with this. Alright, so, okay, it is a bright night. The moon is full and the air is clear and cold. The date is blank, fill in the blank. I have relaxed and performed the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, the banishing ritual of the hexagram, and the ritual of the rose cross. My temple is lit with 9 purple candles, and I am using the general purpose incense of combined myrrh and frankincense. My 4 consecrated tools, the wand, chalice, knife, and pentagram, are on my altar, which is in the center of my temple. I am sitting in a chair behind the altar facing east. I have already drunk some comfrey tea, and I hold a piece of quartz crystal in my hand. I am excited, but feel prepared. I form a body which is a duplicate of myself standing in front of me. I project my consciousness into my astral double and will my eyes to open. I realize that I am now looking around at my astral temple, a duplicate of my physical temple. Everything is here, but it seems more intense, more glowing, and more ethereal. The walls of the room, however, are nowhere to be seen, as they seem to be shrouded in mists. This room may be the same size as my physical room, or it may be infinitely large. I have no way of knowing. Frankly, this scares me a bit, and to calm myself, I perform the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. I see new and very bright blue stars, and luminescent white lines going across those which I have already created. Then I perform the rose cross ritual. It gives me a feeling of quiet calmness. To the east, from out of the mists, I see the 3 doors appear. The door to my left is a huge card of the tarot, card 20, Judgment. To the right, the door is card 19, Moon. Due east. Between the other card door is a door upon which is card 21, the Universe. Ahead, also, is an enormous figure. It is my personal temple's guardian, whose name is blank. I know that I can leave both my temple and my physical body safely entrusted to my guardian's care. This night I have chosen to work up the path of the universe. It will take me from Malkut, our earth, and my temple, to Yesod, to the sphere of the moon. I step toward the middle door. The door seems to grow until it is all that I can see. Instead of opening it, I will myself to become the figure in the card. Instantly, we are one. I am floating in a cloud-filled void, but I feel no fear, only joy. I am surrounded by a huge green wreath, and the only other entities I can see are the cherubic creatures of Ezekiel's revelation. A bull, an eagle, a lion, and a man. Alright, so I look around, and eventually a path becomes clear. I walk away from the wreath and the four creatures, and I move down the path. The path is straight, but to either side it is very dark. Ever so often I see an image, a tableau of great interest on either side of the path, but rather than tarry, I continue along the straight and narrow. After a long walk, ouch, eyelashes, I come to a sort of ocean or lake. There is something shimmering in the distance, but I cannot make out what is there. In front of me is a large, flat-bottomed boat. Its oarsman is the strongest-looking person I have ever seen. He would make almost every bodybuilder hide in shame. He beckons me onto the boat, so I enter and carefully sit down. He rows swiftly toward the glittering in the distance. When we arrive, I sit at this brilliant white island. I tell the oarsman to approach, but instead he stares at me as if expecting more from me. I do not know what he wants. Rather than approaching the island, he rows around it. Quickly coming into my vision is the most beautiful young woman I have ever seen. She looks like she is perhaps 20 years old. Her body has not yet fully matured, but is still excellent to behold. About the only thing whiter and more pure than her skin is her unusual white hair. Her blue eyes look questionably beyond me, as if trying to learn the mysteries of the universe. She is both virginal and sexy at the same time. I am virtually breathtaken at her youthful beauty. As we move further around the island, another woman comes into view. I can't guess her age. She could pass as any age between her late 20s and late 50s. Ouch. She is magnificently beautiful too, but her beauty is not that of a young girl. Everything about her says woman. Her body is full with large but firm breasts and hips jutting out from a slender waist. Her skin is incredibly pure, and her white hair is puffed out to form a huge halo about her face. Her eyes are of the deepest azure, almond-shaped. They turn down slightly at the outside, giving an impression both of knowledge, wisdom, and insight, and in sheer eroticism. This lady is by no means a virgin, but few have dared to love her except from afar. Even her posture breathed sensuality and eroticism, unlike the mere sexiness of her younger neighbor. She is surrounded by many animals, and she stands on a highly fertile plain filled with grains and ripe fruits and vegetables. As the oarsman rows on, I begin to weep, as I do not wish to ever leave this lady of light. I start to sing a song to her. Alright, Lady of Magic, Lady of Light. Breaker of gloom in the midst of the night. In your heart, in your soul, a part of me lives, a part without which I'm alive, but don't live, alive, but don't live. Soon I can see her no more. As we move further, another woman comes into view. She is much older, and at first glance, her appearance is hag-like. But as I look at her, I see a hidden sense of vitality, which shines from within her eyes. I see that she has lived a full and meaningful life, even though her time grows short. She regrets not one day of her existence. In my mind, I can almost see her beauty when she was young, and the exuberance which accompanied that youth. As I look at her, I see what I at first considered to be a hag-like appearance now has a beauty of its own. A beauty of time and experience, a beauty of age. She also has a sort of majesty about her, which gives her a beauty beyond her appearance. We continued around the island, and I realized that what I have seen are the faces of the threefold lunar goddess of paganism. This is natural, since before I started to study the Kabalah, I had only studied Wicca or witchcraft. We finally returned to the first spot where we came upon the island. I bid the oarsman to cease his labors and wait here for a few moments. In my heart, I say, O Diana, goddess of the moon, ouch, and beyond, I beg that if you have a message for me, that I might now receive it. A beautiful figure approaches from somewhere on the island. She stands with 1 foot in the water and speaks to me. Although we are separated by about 100 feet of water and she speaks quietly, I am able to hear her perfectly. She says, blank. Now, the oarsman takes us back the way we came. I notice things which, in my excitement, I had not noticed on the trip out. I see, at the dock where I met the boatman, a huge structure of rock which formed the last Hebrew letter Tav. I see distinctly in the sky the planet Saturn, clearly discernible by its spectacular rings, as I walk back down the path by which I had come. I see trees of ash and yew along with cypress. Leaning against a yew, I see a large sickle, and I get a small whiff of what smells like rotten eggs. Thankfully, the scent quickly is gone. I walk back down the path until ahead I finally see the wreath and the 4 mystical creatures. I enter the wreath and immediately see my temple and its guardian. I walk into the temple and sit down in the lap of my physical body. I open my eyes and say a silent prayer, thanking both Diana and my temple's guardian. I once again perform the banishing rituals. When I look at a clock, I am surprised to see that only 37 minutes have passed. It seems like many hours. That's it. Yeah, that's what it's like. It's exactly what it's like. You think that you have been gone for days, and it's like a couple minutes. So, alright, now the important thing to notice is the above story is that the astral traveler could not enter the island. So, the island, of course, was the Assad. You will be given the secret code, the secret of how to enter the higher Sephiroth in the next chapter of the lesson. However, once again, I urge you to wait for a few days or even a week and experiment with the simple methods of astral projection as presented so far. Now, if you wish, you may even work with going into the last 3 cards of the major arcana and see what is on those paths. The 3 lower paths of the Tree of Life, however. 1. Do not attempt to enter a higher Sephiroth at this time. 2. Do not stray from the paths. 3. Return to your temple the same way you came, following the same path. 4. Will the astral or mental double to be absorbed by the physical body when you are through. Simple. Very simple techniques. Don't think what's going on with my hair today. Hair. Alright, so be sure to always absorb the doppelganger. Always bring that back with you. So this is usually done by having the double sit in your lap, or if you're laying down, by laying on top of you and sink back into you. Also notice the symbols mentioned at the end. Saturn, certain types of trees, a scythe, and the Hebrew letter Tav. So these are all associated with the 32nd path, the path of the tarot card, the universe, or the world. So it is impossible for me to list all of the appropriate correspondences here. Besides, they have already been listed in the book 777 by Aleister Crowley. So, that's interesting. So, this Dictionary of Occultism 777 is a vital book for all practicing magicians, and if you wish to improve your magical knowledge, I suggest you obtain a copy. It's so expensive, it's ridiculous. So the way the tarot fits into the Tree of Life is, as you can see, very important. It is the key for moving from one Sephiroth to another, so you should become familiar with the pattern as given out in Lesson 3. So if you have not already done so, if you experiment with pathworking, as in the example above, you may use either mental or astral projection. So it's pretty interesting. I mean, you learn a great deal about it. So as you experience in pathworking, as your experience in pathworking may be quite different from the example above. So it was only meant to be an example of the types of things which may occur. Follow the 4 rules above and you will experience no problems. How many of you have ever done this exercise before, or any kind of exercise like this? I would love to know what you experienced if you want to tell. Alright, now part 4, the purposes of pathworking. So, did you guys check out that meme of me? Somebody, my friend Wicca Raven, he made a really, really neat meme of me. I really love it, and I thank you very much. You're amazing. It was really, really funny. At least I thought it was really funny, and so did he. So, I mean, and a ton of other people too. It was great. That was a great meme. I want to be a GIF though, a Giphy. I want to be able to move. So yes, I think it was just really neat. It was a really neat one. So you guys all see it on my public page. All right. So thank you, Wicca. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My older brother. We're switching ages too. So yes, I'm 16 now. Part 4. Alright, now the purpose of pathworking is for information gathering. So, by questioning higher spiritual entities, it is possible to learn new rituals, big time, new magical techniques, and new magical information. So it is important to remind you that this information is for you and you alone. Although it may require others to help you in performing a ceremony, it might not be appropriate for anyone else in the universe to perform for him or herself. Alright, so yes, it's all in you. So that's a good thing. This presents an opportunity to repeat, and I love this, that he keeps repeating Dion Fortune's, there is no room for authority within occultism. Alright, so this presents an opportunity to repeat Dion Fortune's important point. There is no room for authority in occultism. I don't know how many times he has to express that, but I love it. So merely because someone reports that he or she had success with an originally devised ritual does not mean anyone else will have success with it. Similarly, a great many books on supposedly occult topics are nothing more than fantasies of the authors. So I know of one book which has been thought through a great many printings, and claims that the reason you can hear other people's thoughts, which is clairaudience, is because people actually speak through their ears when they think of something. Huh. Okay. The idea makes perfect sense to the author, but it seems ridiculous to me. I second that. I know of another well-respected author who wrote a book concerning lost civilization. The author made up the book and used his real name for the main character. He also used his wife's magical name in the text. Ooh. For the pseudonym listed as the author of the book, he switched around the words, not really, to make up a name. And this book, I understand, has been very successful. It's interesting. But what I have talked about in the previous paragraph refers particularly to what you or anyone else might learn from the higher spiritual entities as you pathwork your way around the tree of life. Now, what I want to share with you now is how you get to a location where you can meet these entities. This technique uses virtually all of what you have learned so far in this course. So here is the chance to perform this entire ritual with everything that we have learned so far in this part of the book. It's very interesting. The ritual of the paths. So this ritual is composed of 8 basic steps. 1. Purifications. 2. Banishings. 3. Projection and pathworking. 4. Verifications. A. Of your location or locations. B. Of the identity of entities. 5. Request for magical aid from the higher spiritual entities. 6. Payment. 7. Return. 8. Banishings. Now, the only other thing which you will need to know is the key to gaining entrance into the higher Sephiroth, the password. So, since each Sephirah is overseen by an archangel, you need to know what that archangel's name is in order to enter. This is similar to the idea of having to give the name of a friend in order to get into a private club. Names have power. So, In other words, the name of the archangel of a particular Sephirah is the password for gaining admittance into that Sephirah. Knowing these passwords will allow you to enter any Sephirah. Imagine what you can learn through every single one. It would take a lifetime, or 5, or 8. So, alright, here are the preliminaries. First, with the help of the talismanic magical chart, decide what the purpose of the pathworking is to be, and which Sephirah you are going to visit. So, as an example, let us say that we feel low on vitality and wish to increase our energy. The Sephirah involved is Giburah, and it is also to Giburah we must go. Next, as before, any act of grey magic, do a divination to see what the probable outcome of the ritual will be. Now, let us assume that the divination indicates that the outcome would be very positive. The next step is to decide the proper time to do the ritual. So let's choose the 4th magical hour after sunset on a Thursday during the waxing of the moon. This was determined by the table of magical hours. So, it may be that your purpose would be only to communicate with a higher spiritual entity and become friendly with that entity. So just getting to know that entity, its mannerisms and how to interact with it, that type of thing. So, in this case, it's not really grey magic and needs no divination. However, doing a divination first will indicate the probability of success and could save you a great deal of waste time. So yes, that's very good to do. You don't want to waste your time in, trying it, doing it, and not succeeding is better than not doing it at all. Especially for magical purposes and spiritual growth and your own spiritual evolution. We have rain coming, like flooding. I'm excited. Alright. Okay, the next step is to prepare the area. It's a good idea to give the temple area a good cleaning. Dust wash, vacuum, whatever is appropriate. Then, you must also have an altar, and the magical tools or weapons. These include the 4 elemental tools and the rainbow wand. Okay. You also need a piece of black material suitable for covering the pentagram. So the material should be preferably made of silk, but natural fibers such as cotton or wool will suffice. So, stay away from nylons and polyesters. Also needed is a road map. The road map is the tree of life. So if you can get that giant poster size for they're 99 cents. Literally, the poster size right up here above me. Yeah. Alright, so a road map simply lists everything which you will need to know for the ritual. For this ritual, we will need to know the correspondences for Yesod, Tiferet, and Giburah. So we will also need to know the correspondences for the paths of the Tree of Life, which unite these Sephiroth. This includes knowing the tarot cards which are associated with the paths we are going to traverse. So, for this example, the cards are the universe, temperance, and justice. The world, the universe, the world, same thing. So note that the path we are taking is from Malkut, Sephirah number 10, to Yesod number 9, to Tiferet 6, to Giburah 5. We would have gone from Malkut to Yesod to Hod 8 to Giburah, which would go up the left pillar, or we could choose to go from Malkut to Yesod to Netzah 7 to Tiferet to Giburah. This is the right. This would be a longer way, but one would still get us to the goal. If any event for grey magic, always begin by going first to Yesod from Malkut. This is because Yesod is associated with magic. Since our example is grey magic, we first proceed to Yesod. So, had our goal of the ritual simply been to gain knowledge, and not ask for either a change in the physical world or information which would allow us to create that change, we could have followed a path directly up the left pillar without first stopping at Yesod. Now, step 1, here are the purifications. Begin with cleaning your area, if you have not done so. Take a ritual bath or a shower has already been described. Robe yourself. Next, purify your tools. True, their use in ritual work, along with their dedication to the magical arts, has purified them, but a little extra never hurts. Now, facing east, take the rainbow wand and hold it by the white band with the black end facing down. Visualize pure white light-filled energy coming from above your head, down through the rainbow wand and out through the black end and into the ground, and say meaningfully, by the power of Adonai, be pure, I exercise the creature of will. Alright. Now place the rainbow wand back on the altar. Now take the air dagger and hold it in your hands. Generate energy as you would in the middle pillar ritual, but feel the energy run down your arms into your hands and into the dagger. And visualize all the impurities leaving the dagger and say this very meaningfully. I exercise the creature of air. Replace the air dagger on the altar. Take the fire wand in your hands and face south. Generate energy as for the dagger, and as you visualize all impurities leaving the fire wand, say meaningfully, I exercise the creature of fire. Now replace the fire wand on the altar. Take the chalice up, which should be filled with wine or water, in your hands and face west. Again, generate energy and visualize all impurities leaving the chalice, and say meaningfully, I exercise the creature of water. Take a sip from the chalice and replace it upon the altar. In a similar manner, treat the pentagram. However, you should be facing north when you say meaningfully, I exercise the creature of earth. So wrap the pentagram in the black cloth, which you have for the purpose, and replace it on the altar. If you have not done so already, at this time, light the appropriate number and color of candles. In this example ritual, you should use 5 red candles, 5 being the number and red being the color of the Sephirah, to which we wish to travel. Incense should also be lit. Tobacco is commonly used for the Sephirah. Alright, so other sharp acid scents will do. And of course you can always use frankincense and myrrh, universal one. So I love frankincense and myrrh. It's really good. Okay, hopefully this is... Wait a minute, why am I... Okay, whatever. Yeah, let's go on. Okay. Okay, step 2, the banishings. Perform the opening by watchtower. Step 3, projection and pathworking. Using the system described in earlier parts of this lesson, either mentally or astrally project out of body. Look around your temple until you find the universe door, or the world door. The world door. Wow. Enter the card as described and look for a path ahead of you. Now, will yourself to move along this path, which will move you up the tree toward Yesod. Now, because your intention is different, your trip may be different from the one described. Eventually, you will come to a blocked door or pathway. Now, there will be a guardian or several of them at this point. They are the order of angels associated with the Sephirah. In this case of Yesod, they are the cherubim. To pass them and enter Yesod, use the password Gabriel, the archangel of Yesod. Once you are allowed to pass into this Sephirah, look around and make sure that you are in Yesod. Part of step 4, by comparing correspondences. You can obviously end up in other places. So as an example, if you see elephants, you're in Yesod. However, if you see a hermaphrodite, you have somehow gotten into Hod. If you run into any problems or uncertainties, just simply go back the way that you came. Now, eventually you will come to a door or perhaps a curtain painting, which appears to be a huge version of the card Temperance. So project into this card and look for its largest and most apparent path. When you eventually see this path, begin to travel along it. Soon you will find a blocked door or a gate or a path or an entry of some kind. It will be blocked by the Malachim, the angels of the Sephirah Tiferet. So to pass, use the word Raphael. Password, Raphael. So in a similar way to Yesod, now get used to Tiferet. Make sure that you are here by the use of correspondences. Next, look for the card, the tarot card, Justice. Project into this card. Look for the path and move until your way is blocked. Here the guardians are the Sephrim, and the password is Kamel. And again, make sure that you are in Gibura by correspondences, and by gematria. Okay, yeah. Alright, so step 4, the verifications. So to verify that you are in the appropriate Sephirah, you can use the correspondences already described. So, however, an even better way to do verifications is via gematria. I can't say that word. Gematria. This can only be done if you come into contact with entities capable of communication. Ask who they are. Since you are above the lowest astral levels, you do not have to worry about those creatures having, egos and thus being liars. Spiritual creatures have no true will of their own and cannot lie, but they do not have to spell out their answers in plain language, so they may test you. According to the Kabalah, Hebrew is the true language of the angels, and they may reply in Hebrew. On the next page, you will see a chart with the Hebrew letters. You will also see that each Hebrew letter... Alright, so here is... Wow. You guys can screenshot this if you want to. It's very clear. It's very, very clear. There we go. So, that's... Yes, wow. So, alright, so... you will also see that each Hebrew letter... is associated with a number. So, therefore, the Hebrew letter, each Hebrew word, has a numerical value. Since 5 equals 5, according to the Kabalah and gematria, I really hope I'm saying that right. Any Hebrew word whose letters equal a certain value is related to any Hebrew word. Those letters have that same total. Alright, so, as an example, perhaps when you think you are in Tiferet, you come up upon an entity and ask who that entity is. The entity says Shavat. This means rod in Hebrew, and the letters come to a total of 311. So, the number of Raphael is also 311. Therefore, you are in Tiferet and are before the Archangel Raphael. You may have been tested by gematria and know how to pass some of the test. If you are unsure at any time, simply return the way that you came. Notes to the previous page. The first column shows the way the Hebrew letters appear when printed. So we know that. The second column gives the sounds associated with each of the letters. Notice that some English sounds and letters are included. So there is no E nor there is an F. Although the PE does have a PH sound, which for a practical purpose equates with the letter F. Although the letter A traditionally is given the sound for Aleph, the Aleph really has no sound. So it merely is a placeholder for vowels, which in ancient days were understood in modern Hebrew are indicated by points and lines written around each letter. So the Qaf is sometimes spelled Qoph and is said to represent in English by the letter Q. However, it is always pronounced like a K. The CH of the chet is pronounced like ch of the Scottish word lach. So ch. It's a lot of sounding out. Alright, the third column contains the number value of each letter. Note that after 10 it goes to 20, 30, etc. So yeah. Okay, likewise, after 90 it goes to 100, 200, etc. 11 is made by the combination Yud Aleph or Aleph Yud. 22 is made by the combination of Kaf Bet or Bet Kaf. 347 is made by any combination of the letters Shin, Mem, and Zain. Interesting. Columns 4 and 5 show the special enumeration. Enumeration, I like that word. An appearance of 5 letters known as finals. So, the letters in column 5 show how these letters look when they appear at the end of a word. Their values at the end of a word are given in column 4. I feel like a teacher. Alright, class, listen up. Right now. Where'd I go? Okay, hold please. Their values at the end of a word are given in column 4 and appear after the commas. I almost said commas. Commas of column 3. Wow. Alright, so column 6 gives the name of each letter in transliteration, the best book on the subject of, how do you say that word? Of Gematria is Godwin's Kabbalistic Encyclopedia. And it's now out of print. By David Godwin. Published by Llewellyn. Also, good as Crowley's Sefer Sephiroth, found in some versions of 777. Both books are really vital to a practicing magician. I must get that book, 777, and I must get the one that's out of print. Now, alright, step 5, request for magical aid. Once you are positive you are in the correct Sephira, request, by willing, the presence of the Archangel of the Sephira. In the case of this example, it is Kamel, which, when an entity appears, make sure that it is Kamel, via Gematria. If, for example, the entity identifies itself by the name 91, you will know that you are communicating with the correct entity because Gematria, Kamel equals 91. Next, request what it is that you desire. Keep it simple. In the case of this example, you can use the words energy and vitality. Pretty simple. Now, step 6 is payment. Nothing can be obtained without some sort of payment, return, exchange, energy exchange. So here the payment is energy. Obviously, there are several ways to give this spiritual energy. A. Raise energy via the techniques of the middle pillar ritual and send the energy out of your arms and towards the archangelic figure. B. Repeat a word or phrase over and over. So in this example, the word energy would be good, or perhaps you could use the archangel's name. So let it speed up as you repeat it. So you should feel energy increase within you and around you as you repeat the words or phrase. When it reaches a peak, say it one more time, but do it slowly and loudly toward the figure. Feel all of that energy raised, leave with your breath, and go into the entity. This is a system similar to what is called mantra yoga in Eastern systems of magic. So, of course, your astral or mental body does not really breathe, nor speak loudly. However, the sensation is the same as if you did these activities physically. It is too, and it's pretty interesting. So, where'd I go? Oh, C. If you are familiar with martial arts, any method of raising, sending chi or ki will work. D. If you are using mental projection, you can use inner alchemy, sex magic, and when you have the Mahatantra experience, let the energy go to the archangel. Don't worry about having a physical orgasm. E. If you are mentally projecting, you can run or dance in a circle. Don't fall down. Don't fall down because it hurts. That still boggles my mind to this day. How did I get grass stains on my knees like that? How? Why? It was so odd. I wish I could find Anne. I wrote about her in my book, the one that actually picked me up that time when we actually went to Stonehenge. She just disappeared. It was so strange. Alright, so you can dance or run in a circle and feel the energy build as a result of this physical exertion. When it reaches a peak, release it in the direction of the archangel. This, of course, needs the close cooperation of the physical and mental bodies. So as if the mental body, which directs the energy taken from the physical body. If you choose to use this system, be sure to stay within your protective magical circle while you run and or dance. It boggles my mind. Why did that happen? So the energy given, while called a payment, must really be given freely. So the archangel may or may not choose to accept the energy, and whether or not the energy is accepted has no bearing on whether or not the archangel will aid you in your magic. However, nothing can be had for free, and even if the payment is not used, it's still a payment. It may also seem odd that, in this case, energy is given in order to receive more energy, but that is the secret of all of this. So, where'd I go? Okay, so, wait. This is a secret of the alchemist who said that you must have gold in order to make gold. Here you go. In the same way, any energy given here can be returned 1,000,000-fold if need be. I like it. Step 7, the return. Alright, now, using your own words, thank the Archangel kindly for any help, which it may choose to give. Then start back down the tree of life. If you go back the way you came, you will not find any guardians blocking your way. Why would they stop you from entering a place to which you have so recently proved that you are entitled to be admitted? Besides, their purpose is to block unentitled people from going up the tree of life toward divinity. So, not from leaving the tree. So it is possible to go down the tree in a direction other than that by which you arrived. If you do so, you will run into new guardians who may want to hear a password for a Sephira, which you have not entered in this pathworking. As you can see, it's easiest just to descend the way that you came, unless you have a deep, memorized knowledge of the correspondences on the tree of life. He says, I suggest that you leave searching around for later pathworking experiments. When you make your way back into your temple, rejoin your physical body. Step 8. Banishings. Give the license to depart by saying the following or something which contains all of its ideas. So, here is the license to depart. Because you have been obedient and obeyed the commandments of the Creator, feel and inhale this grateful odor, and afterwards depart ye unto your abodes and retreats. Be there peace between thee and me. Be ye ever ready to come when ye shall be cited and called, and may the blessings of God be upon ye. And now let any and all spirits called by this rite return to their abodes and habitations, and harm none on thy way. Be ye all obedient and prompt to come unto me without undue difficulty on my part, when thou art called upon, according to the traditions given by the divine to us. Amen. Or a lady, amen. Alright, so of course the grateful odor is the incense which you have been burning. Thus, if you are alone, you would add some more incense to the burner at this time. You can get them already made up, the big ones that last for your entire pathworking experience. So as you probably realize, non-physical entities do not have noses and cannot smell incense, but by tradition, spiritual entities do seem to enjoy the astral double of the incense. I like this. Clap your hands together loudly 3 times. This helps to bring you back down to earth. Quite literally, finish by doing the closing of the watchtower. The rite is finished. So, it's pretty interesting. I mean, what would happen if you get stuck in there? Can you get stuck in the tree of life? Can you not come back? Can that etheric cord, the silver cord, be cut? And can you just completely be separated from your physical body, like the soul? Who knows? So, if at any time you feel uncomfortable or being watched, or something else which gives you an unpleasant feeling while performing this ritual, work your way down the tree immediately and rejoin your physical body. Yeah, I always have that feeling of being watched, because I am. Because of these idiots that think it's cool to stalk people. Okay, so then take the cover off the pentagram and, starting in the east, show it around the entire circle while you move in a clockwise direction. Follow this by doing the usual closing. Then open all of the windows and air out the room. This will protect you from any unknown problems which might arise during this ritual. If you follow the instructions given, you have all the help you need right at your fingertips. So, this ritual also points the directions which you must study for the future. So, to successfully perform this ritual, do you need to work on, yeah, I do, gematria? I don't even know what that is. On correspondences, on familiarity with the tree of life, on the tarot, on astral projection. So there are virtually months or even years worth of study and development ahead. Yes, lots. By coming back to this lesson, you will always know exactly what you need to study. You will always have a focus for future development. Remember, the beginning of wisdom is knowing the knowing of what you are ignorant. With this ritual as a guide, you will always know exactly what you need to study, exactly what you need to learn, and that will continue until you reach your ultimate goal, until you're no longer just a student of magical arts, but indeed a true, successful, and accomplished magician. So, alright guys, we will go into part 5 tomorrow. So, that was very interesting, and this is all about, the rest of this is all astral work, astral projection. So we have finished this entire, we have finished the entire part 4, the Ritual of the Paths. So, it's pretty interesting. I personally think it's really, really interesting. So yeah, I really hope to hear what you guys, if you guys are doing it, if you have done it. I look forward to hearing about that experience. But yeah, very interesting. I can't believe that we have that much left, but there's still so much information left. So, alright you guys, yeah, that's it. So, I will see you all tomorrow. I love you all very much. All my love, all the way from Venus, all the way back down. And I will see you guys all tomorrow, definitely. So, thank you. Thank you all for watching. I love you all very, very, very much. And yes, everybody have a great day. And be safe. So, alright guys, thank you.